the Nürburgring.
You know, that 13-mile long green hell racetrack in Germany where car makers intensify their sports cars. That place where Porsche massaged the GT3 into being one of the most complete road and track cars in existence today. Well, that's the place where one of the world's best race car outfits is based. A race car outfit so good that Porsche itself partnered with them to develop the road car we have right here with us today. This is no ordinary GT3, this is a GT3 with a race kit fitted to make it even more devastating around a track. And the name of Porsche's race partner? It's one we're going to hear more of. It is Manthey Racing. But how does a car with a Manthey Racing conversion handle on a public road? What if it's so extreme you couldn't even drive it to that circuit? And who is this leading approved installer of Manthey Racing kits? It's not in Germany, it's right here in the UK. Well, why not join me, Roger Bailey, to figure out all of this. So, very first driving impressions of a Manthey equipped GT3. Well, it feels just like a 992 GT3. Is it firm suspension? Yes. Is the steering pointy? Yes. Bit loud? Yes. This is quite fascinating and I think we need to find out some more. So we're going to wind the clock back about an hour or so and I'm going to do that thing that proper presenters do. That is, they start a sentence off in one location and finish in another location, because it's here where we find the answer to one of the questions I've raised. Now, Porsche owners, they appear to fall roughly into two categories: those who drive their cars sparingly in order to maintain the value of their investment, and those who are in a pit lane at every opportunity. And it's here at Porsche Centre Chester where we find GT3s for either camp, because it is Porsche Centre Chester who have official approval from both Manthey and Porsche to carry out these conversions. And as a result of those approvals, the converted cars continue to carry the full Porsche warranty, and it's that which got me interested. So let's have a proper look, shall we, at a Manthey GT3.
So, with Porsche being the majority shareholder of Manthey, the full force of Zuffenhausen's resources enabled the kit to be properly developed by both Porsche and Manthey engineers in a partnership, with the conversion focusing on the GT3's aerodynamics and chassis components while preserving the rest of the car untouched, including, of course, the car's naturally aspirated engine. Downforce is increased by aero alterations like this new front splitter, extra airfoils underneath the car, and these little front winglets to balance up the downforce. The GT3's defining feature is its adjustable rear wing, and during the Manthey conversion, those swan neck sanctions acquire an all-new carbon fibre aerofoil, which is bigger, it's wider, and it sports a gurney flap to the trailing edge. Other aero updates include a new, longer and deeper diffuser and these aero discs on the rear wheels. Our blue car is still awaiting delivery of said discs, and all of this kit is made from carbon fibre. And if that wasn't enough, we find Manthey equipped Porsches feature specially developed suspension with new 4-way adjustable coilover shock absorbers. The new springs are 10% stiffer up front and 7% stiffer at the rear. Oh, and these natty looking towing loops are provided should an overexcited driver accidentally leave the track. To cope with extended track use, we also find on offer are upgraded brake pads, steel braided brake lines, and should the budget stretch a little further, and we'll talk about money shortly, forged magnesium wheels can be had. And so I think it's time for a drive, yes? The standard 992 GT3 was a full 17 seconds quicker around the Nürburgring than the previous GT3, and the Manthey 992 GT3 has shaved a further 4 seconds off that time, which translates to a second per lap improvements around a typical UK circuit, which is actually fairly impressive. However, it's here on the public road that this car simply has to be usable, and for comparison, we've got not just one but two more additional shark blue beauties to try out, and they're out with us today. So we have a stock 992 GT3 and we've got an all-new 992 GTS. Firstly, here's the comparison GT3, which has been kindly left out by the roadside for us.
So here we are on an identical GT3, only this time Hasn't got the Manthey kit. Happens to have a manual gearbox and there's no roll cage, but it'll do. So how does it feel compared to the Manthey? Pretty much the same. Let's just try GTS. So the GTS is lovely, it's quiet, it's smooth, it's comfortable, the suspension is relatively soft, but it is by no means a GT3. So it's time we jumped out of this GTS, lovely as it is, and back into one of those GT3s. Okay, the GTS is a fabulous car, but it is by no means a GT3. So this is a great experiment. Two cars, one with trick Manthey suspension, one with standard suspension, and on these roads and at these speeds it's hard to perceive any difference between the two cars at all. And so we're back in the GT3MR.
Here is that while the GT3 is utterly transcendent when compared with other cars, blending everything that's good about a Porsche 911 with otherworldly performance, the Manthey kit adds another tranche of ability and feel and driver enjoyment. A discussion about comfort seems a little bit churlish, however it should be mentioned that while this is a firmly sprung car, as we've discovered, it is no more than so than a standard GT3, and yet here in the Manthey, a driver can dial up firmness by 4 full notches, enabling a greater level of control and composure on the circuit. Less churlish is a discussion about money, because a conversion of this level of quality isn't cheap. Expect to pay north of £50,000 or spend another £250,000 on a pre-converted car like these two freshly converted examples here at Porsche Centre Chester. Which all adds up to the most remarkable thing, which is how approachable this car is. Despite its extremity, you can still trickle it down to the shops and back and feel completely at ease. Pushed hard on the road, it is impressive. Yes, it's firm and the steering is as busy as usual, yet on a track where this car belongs, this car will be mighty and it will be accessible, and I imagine the MR converted car will still do that 992 GT3 trick of making an average driver look way better than average. However, except that is now with an MR you can get an extra second or so advantage over drivers who bring along a stock GT3.
The upgrades to this Manthey GT3 have been incremental and carefully considered in the time-honoured Porsche way of doing things. Headline changes being the enhanced aero reworkings, that impressive wing and the carefully judged suspension changes. It's a sensational blend of performance and handling, just like a stock GT3, but with a pinch of added intensity. Porsche and Manthey have made this car faster around a circuit without affecting the GT3's integrity or its warranty. They have also, first and foremost, presented us with yet another uniquely desirable recipe for having fun. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe if you haven't already, and comments are always welcomed, and please feel free to look at my other videos.
So damn, it feels good when you jump on it. Scars on my chest like you own it. You can have my last name if you want it. If you want it, if you want it. Yeah, girl, we don't even have to stop it. Take you higher than a real rocket. You can have my last name if you want it. If you want it, if you want it. But damn, it feels good when you jump on it. Scars on my chest like you own it. You can have my last name if you want it. If you want it, if you want it. Yeah, girl, we don't even have to stop it. Take you higher than